And I have energy through the roof.
I sleep better. I have so much more energy.
Throughout the day, I can focus better. I can concentrate in my work.
Our church worship service lasts 45 minutes. For the last 2 years, I've not been able to stand that long. 2.5 weeks into wearing the X39 patch, the pastor said, "You can now be seated." It dawned on me at that moment that, my goodness, I've been standing this whole time, didn't realize it.
After starting using the technology for approximately 2 weeks, my pain completely disappeared.
32 years of pain gone in 3 days.
I just love the products. They just help me to feel younger and younger year after year.
Thank God for X39.
My skin become younger, softer, firmer.
It's been really amazing.
I love X39 because it really helped reduce the inflammation in my knee. I can now run again. Woohoo!
Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Testimonial Tuesday call. I'm your co-host, Robin Blanc or Blank Mascari, either one. Glad, always a treat to be with you. This call is a really wonderful call where we start out in the beginning where you're the star of the show and you share your stories. And the focus for sharing your stories is what it was like before, which patch did you use, and now what you can do that you couldn't do before. So it's be brief, be compliant, and be done. And when we say compliant, we do symptoms only, no naming of any diseases. Then we bring on our very special guest. And this evening we have Dr. Jeffery Hubbard with us, who if you don't know him, you're going to love him. If you do know him, you already love him. And he's a treat to have with us. And then after that, it's your turn again, where you can actually ask questions. So please wait until Dr. Jeffery's just about done to put your questions in, because if you put them in too soon, they'll be too far away and I won't be able to see them. Okay, now it's time to get underway. So the guidelines are, for those of you that have a story to share, we ask you to raise your hand, and then I'll call on you and Gregory will make you visible for everybody so you can be seen. And we'll start out with Dr. Velvet, but please raise your hand, and then we'll go through one by one. And we love your stories. And I just want to say that your stories are what changes people's lives, because when someone hears your story, it inspires them to want to share with someone that they care about. And that's the beauty. So we're going to get the ball rolling with Dr. Velvet. Good evening, my dear. You're looking fabulous.
Woo. I feel fabulous too.
That picture was amazing.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So I have a horse story tonight.
Yes, please.
We have a neighbor who has a horse. And we noticed as we were walking our pups that her left eye was just swollen shut, oozing. It looked horribly infected. And so we contacted her, our neighbor, and said, look, we do this stem cell activation and we would like to try our use patches on your horse. Would you mind? She goes, no, because I've been considering having her put down because it was getting pretty bad. And so she haltered her. That night, we went out there and we put an X39 on her halter. The very next day we went out there, she came up to us. It was like, oh, you're here. I feel good. And so we noticed that some of the swelling had gone down. The second night that we had patched her, she did the same thing. She came out and the swelling was better. She didn't look oozy. On the third day, that eye was completely cleared up.
Love it.
Completely cleared up.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, the patches work for animals too. And we have so many amazing animal stories. Oh my gosh, we can go on and on and on with just animals, but isn't that reward? I mean, it happens so fast. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so now we're going to shift to Let's see, everything's moving so fast here. Carola, you are next. And for those of you that are ready to share, please raise your hand so we can easily find you. That would be good. So hello there, my dear. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. My story just was a couple hours ago on myself. Usually when I get my period cramps, like I get them before the period comes sometimes. And so I was just at awe. I just put an Eon on below 6 finger width below my belly button, and 5 minutes almost the pain was gone. Prior to that, usually when I had painkiller and prescription for that, which I haven't used in a year or 2 years, I should say, but I had to wait for 3 or 4 hours and just sit still, not move. But I'm here and moving already, so you guys,
all right,
Eon is working, but the X39 too, you know.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Isn't it wonderful that you can get yourself back to comfort so easily, safely, naturally, affordably? Oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing. And that was beautifully compliant. Wonderful. Okay, so next we're going to go to Melissa and then to Linda. So Melissa, you are on.
Oh, hi. I didn't realize I'd be on so quickly. So my story is an animal story, and Dr. Jeff and CJ have watched this happen. So this, let's see, let me switch around my.
Yeah, can we see you?
Yes.
There
Sorry.
you are. Hello, my dear.
Okay. Well, I kind of.
Oops, wrong person. Okay, we'll get there. We'll figure out. Linda's next. Melissa, you're on. Can you? Oh, there you are. Okay, wonderful.
Okay. So, so our story is, this is Teddy. And I do cat and dog rescue around the DFW Metroplex. And Teddy I was asked to take in Teddy July 10th, and he was found as a stray kitty. I took him to my vet on July 11th, and I knew he had some sort of pelvis issue, but I didn't know what. So my vet took a picture and, took an x-ray, and he actually did have a pelvis fracture, but it was already healed. And my vet doesn't recommend this hardly ever, but my vet actually recommended euthanasia because he was so wrongly healed back here. And he had neuropathy and he had scar tissue. And CJ has actually started that night, started doing Beamer sessions on him and also doing patch therapy. And believe it or not, within 2 weeks, and we've documented this all on videos, he actually walks.
Oh
he walks. He does have feeling. Now, he's not very happy with me today because, he went to the doctor for the first time since July 11th, and he had a little procedure done. And let's just say stem cells are not going to put those back into his body. He's not very happy with me right now, but it was the first time his doctor saw him since July 11th. And the staff, one of the girls that works at the front desk, she actually had to remind him who this was because he did not recognize him walking. So, yeah, we've got it all on video. He is still a little sedated from today, so he's not feeling like performing. He's kind of just chilling right now. But yeah, so he's his doctor was very, very surprised. So he does walk normally now at 97%. He does have feeling in his toes again. I know he's not very happy with me right now. He uses litter box, everything. And honestly, my doctor thought that 5 weeks ago today, the best option for him would be euthanasia. And today he didn't even recognize him.
Oh my gosh. That's so beautiful.
So yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So horses and cats, it works too. Thank you, Melissa. That was wonderful. Okay, Linda, now it's your turn, Linda.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, so this is almost like playing charades to me. So a condition, it's the silent killer. You can, heart attack or a stroke, they tell me. So there was medication and I was starting to get dizzy. I've been on X39 for 3 months. Anyway, dizzy spells. So I thought, well, I've learned a lot on these calls. So throw the medicine out. I've been journaling, and I don't need the medicine anymore.
That's
I'm
so
done. Is that compliant?
well, we don't ever want to name anything,
Right.
just symptoms. But the fact that you're doing so well is great, and we're so happy for you. Congratulations. I'm actually going to call on someone that I told him earlier I was going to call on him. As the power of sharing stories, yesterday on our Monday morning miracle call, someone shared a story. So Gregory, would you come on and share what happened with you?
Okay. Let's see. I might as well let me spotlight myself.
Put your camera on and put a spotlight on you.
Okay. On our Monday morning miracle call, that is such a great way to start the week. If you can't start the week with us on Monday morning, you need to come on and go listen to the replay. But someone was mentioning that she has a lot of dear friends in Maui, and she was just, really lamenting, heartbroken, emotionally distraught with what had happened there, and she didn't go into detail because she was on the verge of crying. And she put 2 Eon patches on lung 1 and lung 2. And I never heard of that, and she said she just got her composure. She got her center while she was still going through the process. And, Robin and I have a beloved 15-year-old Labradoodle that's in hospice. And that morning, I was lamenting because it seemed like this might be his last day. And so I was starting to lose it, and I had a call coming up. And I went, darn, I'm going to go try those 2 Eons on lung 1 and lung 2. And I put them on, and I put on another one here for good measure. Okay. I got to tell you, I came back to center. I went into my next Zoom, and it was like, it was wonderful. I felt totally liberated from that burden and regained my center. So I'm just saying, I didn't know it worked for emotions, but it did. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
So the reason I wanted you to share, honey, is that Gregory heard that story on the call yesterday.
Monday.
That was
yesterday, right?
That was yesterday. Please help me. Yes. And so to realize what a difference someone sharing their story made for them and made for Gregory. So just know how important it is to share. And thank you so much, honey. I know that's not easy. So we're going to go to Jerry, then Ravel, and then Heidi. So Jerry, you're on.
Hi, everybody. I might have told this story once or twice before, but there's so many people on here, I don't think they've heard it. But I've been on the patches a little over 2 years. Multiple things wrong with me. I mean, a lot. But for years, imagine not being able to go down and pick something off the floor. Or if you do, having to use a chair to get down and drag yourself back up. Well, Christmas time, I was in the attic. I had to go up there. And all of a sudden I started crawling all over the floor. No spears going through my knees with the pain that would just psych me out. And I am now on the floor painting my baseboards. I have no knee pain. So that's my...
Okay, well, beautiful, Jerry. And notice what Jerry did is she shared what she was not able to do, her limitations, and then using the patches, and now what she can do. And that's how simple it is. Beautiful job, my dear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I think we have Ravel next.
Thanks, Robin. That is beautiful, Jerry. And I've been thinking about you, Robin, and Gregory and Levi today. So thanks so much for sharing that, Gregory. Just a quick, very brief testimonial from a young man in Michigan. When I say young man, he's in his 40s. And he said, just 2 days after we spoke on the phone, great customer service, by the way, I'm already noticing a difference. So this was at about 9 days. Less bags under my eyes, and I also feel like my body is detoxing. Also, in just a few days, my skin is smoother and more vibrant. Great product. He's referring to X39. And today I heard a woman in North Carolina share that her constipation is no longer an issue. And this was after about 2 weeks. So her ability to eliminate has been dramatically improved just in the short span of 2 weeks. Thanks so much.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. And thank you for your loving thoughts. Yes, we know that you've been through it. And yeah, it's a tough one. Okay, so Heidi, you are next, my dear.
Well, good evening. It's a coupling from Monday as well, with someone sharing something about putting Eon on my inner ankle. I actually had an attack with my first experience with fire ants, and I am going to show you how my swelling went down. I won't show my before picture, obviously, because I can't on the share screen, but I'm going to show you my ankles, and all there are little red dots, and they are not swollen. So within probably about 20 minutes, and luckily I was carrying my Eons to go and patch someone that day, and I was walked through some grass, and I had ants crawling up to my knees. It was swarmed all over my legs, and I literally had to take my shoes off and douse myself with water and then scrunch them off. Within 3 minutes, this is what happened. I mean, my ankles were swollen like I was 300 pounds, and I've seen myself when I was 300 pounds, but now they are, and I don't know how to flip my screen, so we're just going to go down. All there are is red dots. Can you see them?
No swelling. That's wonderful.
No swelling. No swelling.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And you said something else that's really important. I always carry patches with me. It's your first aid kit. Make sure you have 39 Eon, Ice Wave, minimally. Okay. Well, thank you so much, honey. Appreciate it. All right. So now what we want to do is, I don't see any more hands up, and the timing's perfect to bring on our special guest this evening. So let's see here if I can figure this out. Honey, Heidi, why don't you take off your video, because we're going to replace it with someone really important. Not that you're not, but it's our special guest for the evening.
She doesn't have to take her video off because I'm spotlighting people. Everybody can leave their videos on or off, doesn't matter.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, there he is. There's the doctor. So let me let everyone know a little bit about Dr. Jeffery Hubbard. He's been with us for several years now, and this man is an MD. He's also a health educator, and he's really, really committed to helping people understand preventative measures for your health. And he's an amazing educator. We got some hot tips on one of our calls from you that you didn't even know about, putting Eon on kidney 3 if you have to get up and go to the bathroom a lot in the night. So someone quoted you on our call the other day, which is really fabulous. But Dr. Jeffery started something called Comedicare, and you've got your new clinic up and running, right?
Yes, we're actually grand opening is Saturday.
Really? This Saturday? I knew it was happening. So he is a gift to our community. He just deeply cares. He's got a special call every Tuesday night. I'll call it AskDrJeff.org, and people ask questions, and he just generously shares from his heart and his wisdom and his knowledge about how to incorporate this technology into your life. So welcome, Dr. Jeff.
Thank you so much. It's so awesome to be here, as per usual.
As per usual, we love having you. And so let's see, Heidi says, Dr. Jeff was my first Testimonial Tuesday practitioner 18 months ago. Wow. I love it. That's great.
That's cool.
She remembers the details. So help us understand what gets you so excited about LifeWave. Why did you choose to dig deeper and to, start with yourself and then share with your patients?
Oh, I mean, it's just a dynamic product. I mean, at the end of the day, that's really the answer to the question. It's just an amazing product. But I got to know that over a great amount of due diligence. And that's what really sold me. You know, most direct sales network marketing companies, they don't do their own research. They don't spend the bucks to have third party, double-blind placebo studies with this product and that product and comparing this and comparing that. And so that was really exciting because that helps to, facilitate the discussion when you're talking to people about how powerful the technology is. And so that's what really sold me, was the research. And, then I'm my own guinea pig. So I started wearing the patches and getting my own experience and having my own testimonials. And that's when the rubber really met the road. I was like, wow, this is an amazing system. And so then I met you guys and David and, just really great people. So, on top of the product being dynamic, the company is full of awesome people and that really care and that really have their moral compass in the right direction.
Beautiful. So this is what I hear from a lot of practitioners. They have to be their own guinea pig first. You've got to develop your belief and then what's next. Okay. Yeah. I just got off the phone with a chiropractor and he tried X39 for a few days and just bought a platinum kit because he said, I noticed it. And he's very excited about that. That's wonderful. Okay. So if someone's using this technology, how do they get maximum benefit? What are the things we need to remember about to get the most benefit from using this?
Well, first of all, I got to say this, just don't quit. I think that's the biggest issue, is that people don't give it enough time. So I really want to make it a point that you should be wearing this patch at least 1 month for each decade you've been on planet Earth. So if you're in your 60s, you need at least 6 months before you even begin to formulate an opinion about what's happening with you and how the patch is working for you. So let's start there. Second, we really want you to be hydrated. So I always recommend that everybody, get at least 2/3 of your body weight in ounces in water each day. That's kind of the basis for your hydration. And if you're a coffee or tea drinker, if you're into caffeinated beverages, soda, energy drinks, then you need to add a few more glasses of water to compensate for the diuretic nature of those drinks. And then we also want you to make sure that you have the proper supplements and minerals. So we always recommend that copper, zinc, and magnesium are in your regimen also, so that you can maximize patch usage.
Beautiful. So you started out with stay with it, consistency every day, hydration, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. And someone did ask, can you wear it longer than 12 hours?
You can, but you just have to give your body ample rest. So there's some people who just like wearing it for 24 hours. They wear it for a whole full day and then they skip a day. So as long as you give your body that light dark cycle, and that's what I think is really cool. We're talking about light therapy. We're light beings. We have this relationship with the sun. So just think about it like that. The sun comes up for roughly half the day and then it goes down for roughly half the day. So that's what your body's used to experiencing. So you don't want to give yourself a light therapy system and then it's sporadic, it's all over the place. You're not giving your body a moon, at nighttime. You got to see the stars every once in a while.
That's a wonderful description of it. Yeah. And the consistency piece is key. And, I said to this doctor I was talking to today, what I say to people, if you're not willing to commit for a minimum of 3 months, don't even start.
Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Wait until you have time.
Wait until you're ready. And the idea of, a month for every decade, because our bodies didn't get like this overnight, and we know it's always working, but it may take some time to notice the benefits that you really want. So, how long does it take? I know you get asked this a lot. And how do you answer people when they say, how long before I can expect to notice something?
Well, I think it's got to be an individualized basis. So I usually start there and say everybody's unique. Everybody's had various different things happen with their body. Everybody's treated their body differently. So you can't expect to have everybody else's experience. But, what I typically say is that it's important to just really take it all in stride. It's a journey. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So just be happy with what's happening. And then I usually say that it's happening on a cellular level. And so, specifically with X39 and glutathione and carnosine, these are molecules that are inside the cell. So the cell is beginning to change its functionality. And then as the cells get better, the tissues get better. When the tissues get better, the organs get better. When the organs get better, then the organ systems get better. And then you start to see stuff on the surface, but you can't rush it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I hope everyone listened to that one. I hope you guys are taking notes. And for those of you that are brand new, really taking notes. There's a lot of great wisdom coming from Dr. Jeff this evening, and always, actually. Okay, so what else is important for people to know when they start using this technology? What if they don't feel good? What do you say to them? I tried this and I thought I was supposed to feel better, but I feel worse.
Well, there's just something, it's a phenomenon in the wellness industry where we say it's a healing crisis, and you got to take that in stride because your body's making adjustments. I actually love when I hear that. I get excited. I tell people, hey, look, you're on the right path to getting better because your body's eliminating junk out of its system that was creating problems, issues, etc. So the fact that your body is having a slightly what you might consider to be a negative reaction, that does not mean that the patch is harming you. So that's the biggest thing I like to convey, is that the patch is not doing anything bad and it's not going to harm you in any way. And so from there, we can move forward. You can remove the patch, have take a day's rest, etc., and then put the patch back on. Usually after the second or third application, whatever sort of issues you may be experiencing, whatever sort of, negative symptoms you may be having, they'll resolve themselves.
So what I'm hearing you say is it's a temporary condition and it's a good thing. It means it's working.
It means that you're starting to get all of the decades and decades of stuff that's been sitting there, festering in your system. You're starting to get that out. And so again, that's when we say, it starts at a cellular level. So you'd be surprised how much junk and trash and, free radicals and all kind of stuff is there that needs to be removed from the cell. So after you start to remove those things, it has to go somewhere and it's going to start circulating around. You might feel bad, but you also need to sweat. You also need to, get out in the sun and let those things find a way to eliminate. You might need a little detox. You might need to cleanse the colon a little bit. Those are the things that, are kind of like patching 2.0, 3.0. Now that you've got all of that stuff out, now you got to remove it from the system. We remove it from the body as a whole.
Beautiful, beautiful. So anything else you want to share before we open up for questions?
I was just telling the group on Ask Dr. Jeff, we need to think big. I mean, this is an amazing technology, an amazing product, and an even more amazing company. I was getting interviewed for this newspaper article, and I happened to mention photobiomodulation, and the lady writing the article, she's like, "Oh, I know about that." And that was the first time that I'd really randomly mentioned it and somebody said, "Oh, I know about that." But guess what? She knew about photobiomodulation, but not about LifeWave. So 99 people out of 100 that you bump into are going to say, what the heck is LifeWave? So we've got a job to do as brand ambassadors and distributors to get this out to as many people as possible, because this really is a powerful, powerful system that helps us to achieve optimal health and wellness very simplistically, affordably, and quite frankly, it's the best thing on the market, in my opinion, when it comes to stem cell. So I just want to, I was just telling the guys, I want to get a bullhorn and just walk down the street and say, guys, you need to go to lifewave.com and buy some patches and experience all of this cool stuff for yourself. So I just think we have a duty to get this out there. So I just encourage everybody to be, steadfast. Some people are going to say no, some people are going to say I'm not interested, but, they'll come back around when it's a household name and everybody's getting better. So, you can get better now or get better later.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, because that's actually what happened to me. I was a customer. I had no intention of building a business, and something shifted in me, and I felt this intense responsibility to let people know that this technology exists. And now, lots of people's lives have been changed because I started sharing and everyone else started sharing. So we have a wonderful, it's safe, it's natural, it's affordable, and it works. And
Yep.
how wonderful is that? And the body will never hurt itself, and there's nothing going in the body. So it's really safe. So let's jump in and start with Adele. She says, regarding a man, tremors in hand, age 66, had surgery on his neck several years back, and then the hand tremors and balance issues began. The doctors say that the surgery was perfect, and his complications do not stem from that. Which patches would you recommend and wear for his hand tremors?
Well, my experience is that tremors and spasms and things like that are really well managed with glutathione. So I would start there. Obviously, X39 is going to kind of be the consummate, sort of patch that you're always going to wear. But glutathione, try that and see if that begins to help minimize or slow down the tremor.
Okay. I have heard that many times, and so glutathione is amazing for that. Great. Any particular location?
So I didn't catch where the tremor was actually happening.
Hands.
Oh yeah, then large intestine 4 is a really great point, right in the webbing between the first and the first finger and the thumb. That's probably the most powerful point on the hand. So I'd start there and see if that helps.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Keme, I have a dear friend customer who is tingling, feeling like walking on glass and very painful. She's been patching for about 4 months and the results are minimal. Perhaps you could recommend other patches or placements or anything else.
Well, so numbness and tingling and, burning sensation, pins and needles. Usually I recommend Ice Wave or Energy Enhancer or both. Energy Enhancer during the day, Ice Wave at night, and you put it on kidney 1, which is on the bottom of the foot, just slightly behind the ball. And try that. Also Eon is great to help with, nerve function and things like that. X39 probably would be a good choice as well. So you just kind of got to figure out a regimen to get all of those on the feet, and so you do a daytime regimen and then you do a nighttime regimen. So that way you can have some sort of stimulation throughout the day.
Beautiful. What about hydration?
Oh, for sure. Water.
Yeah. And it happens so often that people don't realize they're dehydrated, and the patches operate on our body's electrical system that needs to be hydrated. It's like one of the first things I always ask is, how's your water consumption? Yeah.
That's a great point, Robin. I can't remember exactly what I was reading, but it went through this list of symptoms that you have from dehydration. And I was like, well, this is just everybody's dehydrated. I mean, we could just shut the hospitals down because everybody's dehydrated. So, that's a really great point. Start there, because a lot of the symptoms that you may be experiencing is just because you don't get enough water. And I'll add this little caveat. You may not be actually absorbing the water. So, you can sprinkle a little Celtic sea salt or Himalayan sea salt in your water in the morning and in the evening to make sure that you're getting it absorbed. Because when you have the minerals in the water, then that's when they really absorb and get into the areas that are dehydrated.
That is such a big piece that I learned not that long ago. Just drinking a lot of water doesn't mean it's absorbing, and women and men should be different. Women should be 55% and men should be 45, whatever it is. And I got tested and I was way low, and that does have quite an impact. A little bit of salt, good mineralized salt. I just started using Arctic salt, which is even higher in minerals than Celtic or Himalayan. We've got some, there's Heidi showing off her salt. I love it. Okay, great information. Okay, I also have a customer who's on X39 Icewave EN and Energy Enhancer, traveling in Italy, and says, we've got someone making some noise here. Let me handle that. Okay, great. And says she is not urinating much during the daytime, but a lot at night. Is that a problem? And is there a way she can balance it out?
I'm sorry, I had a phone call come in, so
That's
just
okay.
repeat the last part of the question.
Yeah, they're urinating more at night than during the day and want to balance it out.
Well, and this is a lady or a male?
Just says customer. I don't know. Oh, she.
Okay.
It's a woman. It's a
Okay.
woman.
Well, I don't really know exactly what might be going on. There's a couple of things that could potentially be happening, but I think you just need to get back in balance. So just like we were talking about earlier, patching on the kidney meridian probably would be a smart choice, and just see if you can balance out the kidneys and see why they're dumping later than earlier.
So you mentioned kidney 3.
Mm-hmm.
For people that get up a lot during the night. Is that on both legs or one? Because you got 2 kidneys.
Typically, the Y age group is supposed to go on the right side of the body. So you can start with the right ankle, but I find that you can also patch both. And so, that's what Carol Lynn was talking about, was patching on both. So if it's really significant, then I think maybe both ankles, if you just start on the right, and then if that begins to do the trick, but doesn't do it all the way, then you can add another.
Okay, great. And where is kidney 3?
It's on the inside of the ankle,
Okay.
between the ankle bone and the Achilles tendon.
Okay. Oh, it's over there. Okay. And you can always just do a search online for these placements, because you'll see charts all over the place. Okay. Allison Mack, a couple in their 70s, both have been diagnosed with severe eye disorders that required them to get shots in their eyes, medications. Is there anything they can do to reverse this situation?
Well, so eye issues, I usually recommend for people to wear an eye mask, like the ones that cover your eyes. And I guess if it's both eyes, that's easy to do it that way. If it's one eye, then, you can use the pirate mask, but you apply the patches on the inside of the mask and then wear it over the eye so that the photobiomodulation is going right into the eye itself. But you can also wear them around the sides of the eye, either below the eye or above the eyebrow, or on the outside of the eyelash. But I really like wearing the mask. And so it kind of forces you to wear it for 6 hours. I mean, most people get, 5 to 6, 7 hours of sleep. So if you wear it overnight, then you're getting the stimulation there, and then during the daytime you can rest. So that's a really cool one. So X39 is probably the best choice. Also, glutathione and Eon is great when it's an inflammatory related eye issue.
Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Dr. Pam wants to know, patches for severe diarrhea due to a resected colon, 18 inches, and small bowel, 8 inches. No sign of original cause for the resection.
Oh, geez.
That's tough one. Huh?
Yeah. So I talk about this triangular position. It's a synergistic thing in acupuncture. So usually I suggest for gut related things that you patch on conception vessel 4, which is, about 4 finger widths below your navel. And you use X39 there or glutathione there, and then ice wave on either side of the navel. So you create this triangle sort of position. So the triangle looks like this and it's pointing down. And so that one's been really helpful. Also, SP6 Complete actually has been really helpful. It helps with intestinal function and spleen and liver. So maybe you can add that in as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, thank you. All right. Dr. Velvet said she has a client with tremors and used glutathione, and when the first couple of days it diminished. There we go. Proof is
cool.
Glutathione. What about, somebody wants to know, what about broken ribs?
X39, X39, X39. So there's this guy circulating around in the before and after pictures, and apparently he fell through the rafters and broke a bunch of ribs and had a punctured lung. And it's brutal. I mean, his whole rib cage is like purple and or looks really bad. And then, I think it's 2 months later, you can barely notice that anything happened. And so X39 and, maybe X49 because it helps with bone remodeling and bone density. So you can add those two together.
Beautiful. Yeah, the most recent study, just so everyone knows, that was published is on increase in muscle and bone density with X49. Very good to know, especially if you have women friends over 60.
Exactly.
They'll be especially interested. Okay. What patches would you recommend for people that have had that? I don't know. Am I allowed to say that word? Speech and cognitive ability have been impaired with this incident that had starts with an S. I don't know.
Just the lack of blood flow to the brain. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
That's what I needed.
So I like for all the intracranial issues, anything going on inside the skull itself, that HAP protocol is really dynamic. So that in addition to X39, and if you haven't heard about the HAP protocol, it's 2 sets of energy enhancer, glutathione and eon. And so you situate them literally inside of a hat. You adhere the patches to the inside of the hat so that they're on either side of the temples, tan on the left, white on the right, and then white in the front, tan in the back. And then on the top of the head, you have glutathione and eon.
Beautiful. And you can go to liveyoungerproducts.com, and under patching protocols, you'll get to see a picture of that and more explanation. That protocol is amazing for neurologically based anything, right?
Yes, for sure. Or if you
Whether
just
it's-
want to be smarter and you have your brain function better, you can wear it while you're healthy too.
You know what? Gregory and I call it our smart hat, and we typically keep it at our desk. And, when you need to focus and do some writing or, just want to feel calm and relaxed and focused, it's a great thing.
I love that smart hat.
It's a smart hat. Yes. Yes. Okay. Some people don't like to drink water. The patches don't work very well if you are drinking water. Coffee doesn't count. Okay. Thank you about that. That's true. Live Younger Products Hat Protocol. Okay. Everyone's so helpful. I love it. This is from Rose. Dogs are trained to tell people just before they will shake so the person can sit or lay them down to not get hurt. What about a dog who has the shaking? Only the second time in 2 months. I am trying Eon and energy enhancer on the head. Any other suggestions? This is a dog that's shaking.
I really haven't heard about a lot of the other patches with our pet friends. It's usually X39 and or AccuLife. So it's really interesting. I would just stick with X39 and just really, if you have to rev it up, maybe 2 patches just to see if that does it. Put it on the collar so that it stays, and he or she doesn't scratch it off or pull it off.
That's great. And, I was at a friend's house who had a puppy, and I put an Eon patch on the puppy, and it was amazing how quickly it calmed down.
Wow.
So, and then our assistant had a horse, mini horse that had founders, which could be a deadly disease, and put Eon patches on each hoof and wrapped it up, handled. So you can try them all. It's pretty exciting. Okay.
I'm learning something today.
And sometimes you don't have the right patch, put on the patch that you have, and it'll probably work. It's amazing. Okay. Kathy wants to know, what patch do you recommend for constant ringing in the ears?
X39, and you just put it right behind the ear on that bony process. It's called the mastoid process, right on top of that. And usually that does the trick.
Okay. Do you know how to answer what material their patch is made of? Is there any latex?
I don't think there's latex, no.
No, and Linda, you can go to liveyoungerproducts.com and there's a whole section on what they're made of. So you might want to go there, liveyoungerproducts.com. Adele said, thank you for the help with helping the man with tremors. I have a friend who had a kidney removed and is having immune therapy once a month. She's on a drug for checkpoint inhibitors, several other medical conditions, issues with both knees, swelling, pain in her right foot, asthma. Whoops, we're not supposed to say that. She wants to know if she can use X39 and X49. Are they safe for her? And where should she wear them? And is there anything else you recommend?
And that the organ transplant makes me uncomfortable, because the worst case scenario, you have that organ rejected. So I would be very, very, very cautious. And I would even, have a conversation with the transplant doc just to make sure that he or she is aware of what's happening.
Actually, it's a kidney removed. It's not.
It's not a transplant.
It's not a transplant,
Oh,
right?
got it. Okay.
That makes it easier.
Yeah, that does make it easier. Then yes, fair game.
So there's a kidney removed. Knees are, challenged with both knees, swelling, pain in the right foot, breathing challenges. So what do you recommend?
Yeah, I think she just needs to start with X39 and just work her way for 4 weeks or so, 6 weeks or so, get adjusted to that, make sure that she's recovering, and then she can start to add in some others.
Okay. All right. We're going to just take a few more because we're getting kind of late here. Are you okay with a few more?
Sure.
I love it. Shirley, leaky urine, frequency great, 3 to 4 times a night. What patches and where? Well, we've had that conversation, haven't we?
We have.
Okay.
And so normally we have a really great prostate protocol where you adhere the patches to the inside of the underwear and you wear it sort of in the crotch area so that the photobiomodulation gets into the perineum, which is probably the closest place to the prostate. So I was thinking, well, could we do the same thing for urinary tract issues, whether it's infection or whether it's just pelvic floor muscle challenges or what have you? And so the reports have been that it's been great. So, X39 and also glutathione and Eon is a great combo to put there. And so you just get it as close to there as possible. Obviously, lady parts and male parts are not exactly the same. So figure out how to best get it in there.
And you can actually put it on the outside of the underwear too. It might be a little more comfortable than the inside. I know Dr. Nichols has had some great success with that. Yeah, with elevated PSAs. Okay. Melissa wants to know, do you have any suggestions, Dr. Jeff, for very active children with focus issues?
Well, so there's actually a Facebook group of a lady that I met several years ago, and they've had some amazing results with glutathione and the kids. So I think that was a great place to start. X39 is great. I know my kiddo doesn't do very well with sleeping in new places, so I do Eon with him, and Eon helps to calm him down a lot also. So, that's a good thing. I think Eon and glutathione and X39 would be my emphasis for kids who are needing to relax and calm down or be more focused, that kind of deal.
Beautiful. It's been amazing for children. Amazing. I know, one of my friends, I think you might be on the call tonight, has a youngster, and before bed, they put a silent night on them and they get ready for sleep,
Mm-hmm.
So the patches are great for the kids.
Exactly.
Oh, speaking of sleeping, Nicole, can you give advice on using the sleep patches? I tried it for the first time last night, one behind the ear, but didn't notice much. Maybe try different placement?
So, you need to think about Silent Night as a melatonin stimulator, not like a Tylenol PM. It's not the same. So once you get your melatonin regulated and you start to have a good sleep cycle, you'll really notice that you sleep deeper. So you need to give it about a week or so of consistency. and try to get your sleep hygiene together too. Cut your devices off and, the blue lights and stuff, and kind of get a bedtime and a wake up time. Also, get sunlight in your eyes in the morning. That really helps to raise your cortisol level, and that starts the beginning process of getting your circadian rhythm in place.
Beautiful, beautiful. And in the liveyoungerproducts.com website, there's a whole section on sleep. And David did a wonderful call, a Zoom webinar on sleep. And there's several different patches for sleep, and it depends on what's going on with you. Because if you can't sleep because of stress, it's different than if you can't sleep because you have a busy mind or because you're in pain or whatever. So there's different patches that can help. Okay.
Absolutely.
And let's see. We love you, Dr. Jeff. You're awesome. That was one of the comments I just had to share. Okay, I'm going to finish up. Let's see. Let me find one that hasn't asked before. Can to say thinking in the brain and plaque could recommend using the hip. I don't understand, Julianne. Oh, thinning. Can you say thinning in the brain and plaque would recommend the use of the HAT protocol? Do you understand that?
Thinning, maybe thinning of the, like, I don't know, the thinning of the blood vessels. Maybe they get weak. And
thinning of the brain. I don't know about that one. So, okay, let's end on a note where, okay. Oh, CJ said, I helped a dog with a wasp sting with Eon. I love it. Dr.
Cool.
Velvet said the patches are latex free. Thank you, Dr. Velvet. Okay. Okay. Cheryl, we're going to end with this one. What do you suggest for someone who has a neurological disorder that causes sudden unwanted movements?
Yeah, HAT protocol, X39, all of that good stuff. That would be my recommendation.
Beautiful.
I don't think you overthink it. All of those intracranial issues are going to be resolved or helped improved with X39 and the HAT protocol.
Beautiful. Okay, we have come to the end of our time. Lots of great information. I want to thank everyone for hanging in there with us. We had a huge crowd tonight. Lots of guests. We're so grateful that you were here. If you were a guest, please get back to the person that invited you and get yourself started. The patches do come with a risk-free guarantee. And thank you, Dr. Jeff. As always, a treat to always be with you. And thank you, Gregory, for behind the scenes tech support and sharing your touching story tonight. So thanks everyone for being here. If you're the kind of person that likes to share, we have a wonderful brand partner program that rewards you generously for sharing, and we need your voice. I mean, people don't know this exists. And it's like I felt the sense of responsibility, and now a lot of lives have been changed. And the same thing happened with Dr. Jeff. So please get out there and let people know this exists. All right, everybody, thanks for being with us. Good night.
Good night, guys. Thanks.
Good night.
Night.